to understand the story without reading the book. But if you have read the book, how do they compare over the course of the season?
The book has a massive time jump very early in it. It races through time, it races through this problem rapidly. We definitely, the first season is about, the beginning days of this problem sort of growing around the world.
The book and the TV show have a couple characters in common and have the same basic premise in common. Other than that, nothing. So if you read the book, the TV show is an entirely different experience. If you've never read the book, it's not a barrier to entry in any way. Truly, it's the same. The animals are an emergent animal condition, but other than that, and some of the same characters, but other than that, they have nothing in common. Same DNA, different.
Are the characters that have been introduced so far the ones we're going to follow throughout the season, or are we going to learn more stories from different perspectives?
Yes and no.
Okay.
The characters that have been introduced so far are the lead point of view characters,
okay.
And other stories will start to intersect. But if you haven't seen it, so thus far through 2 episodes, we've established 5 main characters who, by the end of the next episode, will all come together and form a team.
And is it always going to hop all over the world?
Yeah, we go all around. We go to Rio. We're in Japan next week. We go to back to Africa. We're in. We spend more time in France. And part of the fun of the show is as the problem is spreading, is our characters kind of chasing after it and trying to figure out what's happening and how to stop it.
I mean, how challenging is it to put together a show like this? Because there's so many elements, and there's, the global aspect, the animal, the technical things. I mean,
it's been a fun challenge. We took some of the lessons we learned on other shows. Like Alias was sort of the first television show, I guess probably like the modern era, which, from our lot in Burbank, we can convincingly convey.
We're in Japan.
Right. And so that's a lesson. From Lost, it was sort of like, it's an international show where it's okay to have scenes that are all in a foreign language and subtitled, and the audience is sophisticated enough now to accommodate that. This is absolutely the first time we worked with animals on any level, and certainly not on a level like this. So that's been the new element, which has been massively fun and challenging simultaneously. And sort of like the CBS was very comfortable with us telling a serialized show where it's not like the case of the week, it's the case of the season or the case of the series. And yet, if you haven't seen the first 2 episodes, you're not so off put. It's definitely a show that you can, by design, jump in and catch up very quickly. It's got familiar elements that you just saw, and I don't know exactly who that character is, but I know enough to catch up and play along with something that was important to us. Which is kind of answering your question, also rambling. I apologize.
Do the actors interact directly with these animals? And if so, did they need any preparation from the trainers and whatnot? It seems like that could be a daunting task.
They definitely, I think a lot of the animals they were working with had worked with humans before, so the animals were trained to be, and I know there was all the precautions taken, right? With there would be wires and stuff that were sort of like the safe zones that even, we could kind of paint them out in post, but that, if the lion crossed this wire, we would be in trouble and everything would stop. So there was all that kind of precaution.
And what's amazing is that our actors, who are all very animal friendly, there are episodes where there are more CG animals, and there are episodes where there are more real live animals on set. And when there is a live animal on set, you just see it in the actors' eyes. They're not acting. It's real. That sense of respect, that sense of fear is just real. Because even though they are trained camera-friendly animals, it's still a 600-pound ground bear. That is wild. And so there's just a level of electricity on set whenever there's a live animal, and a level of unpredictability. No, the animals have all been amazing.
Really?
Yeah, amazing. We used the same wolves that they used in the movie The Grey, which are just spectacular animals. What's amazing is how regal many of them are. The leopards, they're just stunning creatures. Like, you just become fascinated.
It's funny. One of the more challenging ones, oddly enough, was with the house cats. And literally, it's like the thing, like herding, wrangling them, getting there. You know, because also at times we want, you know, them to have these sort of menacing expressions, but most of the time they're just sitting there being all sweet. So that was, of all the things, that was one of the more challenging.
I think I love the dog knocking on the door.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you guys for